At first I was like, yo, this is cool, because it gave me like Predator vibes, right? You remember the scene in the jungle with Schwarzenegger and the Predator? I was like, yo, that's cool. But then I kind of looked a little deeper into it, and it didn't ruin it. But at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, if this is thermal vision or heat seeking, shouldn't you be able to see the human behind the symbiote suit? Like, shouldn't you be able to see Eddie? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about that. But yeah, without further ado, welcome to Reviews from the Six. My name is Cedric, but you can call me Ceddy Said. And today we are reviewing Marvel Comics Venom Night of Vengeance Part 3. So it is my first issue into this series, and I like it. I'm going to be picking up the other issues. I think one of the things that struck me as odd a little bit is the whole vengeance thing, but we'll get into that. First things first, of course, is the art, which I told you guys about the thermal vision. I was like, I really didn't care for that, but other than that, like, it's solid, man. Like, it's not too old, or it's not too dated. You know, a lot of explosions, a lot of fire, you know. I will say this though, when it comes to the villains, like, look at that. Like, yeah, see, when it comes to the villains, I don't care for them. Like, you can barely see them, but they just look like white and black lines and squares, pretty much. But other than that, like, there's a clip in here where Vengeance and Venom is riding the bike together, which is hilarious. I was like, okay, it gave me like Dumb and Dumber vibes, you know, when they're riding a little ching 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 ching. It gave me those vibes, you know. I mean, besides the villains looking weird, I did enjoy, like I said, both of the characters being on the bike. Thermal vision was a little off here. They had like a spacecraft in the Rockies, which was just a little weird to me too. But with that being said, it does take place in the Rockies on the spaceship, and then also in the South American rainforest, where it starts off at, in the South American rainforest. So in this story, of course, you're gonna have Eddie Brock, who is Venom. You're gonna have Sean Knight, who is new to me. I was like, oh, okay, but he kind of reminded me of like their version of a fake Dick Tracy or something. I don't know how to explain. Vengeance reminded me of like a Ghost Rider, you know, which is weird, because why didn't they just use Ghost Rider for here? Because it's the same ability almost, and we'll get into all that. And then of course you got Beck and Elizabeth. Liz is the girlfriend of Eddie Brock. Her and her friend Beck, they're captured on the ship that's in the Rockies. So just a little bit of that before we get right into the story. But yeah, to jump right into the story, it starts off with Venom being in the South American rainforest, right? And it just says hunted. You're like, who's hunting them, right? Which you see here too. All right, you see it clear as day. So you're like, well, who's hunting them? And it is who they call the stalkers, which is the villains. Now, like I said, even though they didn't look cool, they became kind of cool to me. Like the things they were doing and their mentality, I was like, all right, they're almost like cyborgs in a way, you know. And I thought that was cool, just the way they were communicating and the way they absorb each other. We'll get into that, right? But anyways, so he's in the rainforest and he's being tracked. So he's being tracked in order to save the two girls. That's what they tell you. So you're kind of like, wait, what does that even mean? Like, why is he being hunted to save some girls, right? But pretty much he was trying to take the attention off the girls and put it on him. Now there's a little backstory that I'm missing too, because when we get to that part of the story, I'll fill you in on it, but I'll tell you why I think that later on. Anyways, so they find Venom, they're attacking him, they hit him, boom, shoot him right in the chest, bow, he falls, goes in the water, right? So we're all thinking that he's dead, right? He's gone, he's eliminated. They start searching for Vengeance. Now they pick up on a humanoid and he's getting ready to destroy him. One of the stalkers getting ready to destroy him, but then they're like, oh no, he's a humanoid, he's not who we're looking for, right? But it's Vengeance in his human form, which, like I said, I got to get more into Vengeance backstory, because it just seemed like Ghost Rider to me. So anyways, they're like, oh, it's a humanoid, let him be whatever it is. Well, then we get to the Rockies, right? So now the stalkers are like, whatever, let's move on. So now we get to the Rockies, right, where you have Beck and Liz, and they're talking about, you know, Brock is gonna come save us, or Eddie's gonna come save us. He's a good guy. I'm glad he changed his life around, so forth, so forth. Nothing to worry about. I just wish somebody would rescue us now. And in comes the character Sean Knight. Now, Sean Knight was in the previous issue. It states here to go back and read the other issue because he's in there. But pretty much he works for S.H.I.E.L.D. He just looks like another agent. And like I said, it was almost like a Dick Tracy type of slang or jargon. So it was just like one of those comical police sheriff characters. Hey, I got a lot of guns and I work for a detective agency, you know, or a secret agency. You know, he just seemed like that. Long story short, he doesn't help the girls escape, but he gets them out of the predicament that they're in. Right. So then, of course, we cut back to the stalkers searching for Venom. And the cool part to me is that they're searching for Venom. Right now, Venom has fallen in the water after getting shot in the chest. So one of the stalkers, like I said, they said, let's move on, bro. It's over. It's done. The other stalker was like, nah, I need that trophy. I need his head. Right. And I thought that was pretty cool. Now, remember, I told you that it gave me Predator vibes, right? Which I just picked up on now. They are in South America. I'm just saying. So long story short, he goes into the water to look for Venom, to find the body so he can remove his head. Well, somehow the symbiote cloaked with the water. So it was like you couldn't tell it was him. It was like a water symbiote, which was pretty cool to me. Then he struck the stalker, rips his head off. And that's where they kind of open up the dialogue to what Beth and or what Becky and Liz was talking about. So Eddie had made a pact with Liz that he won't murder anyone, he won't kill anyone, and he didn't feel like he went back on that pact because he ended up killing a robot or a cyborg. So he was like, okay, I got away with that one, right? So now Sean Knight and the girls, they continue to find their way out, right? They're like, okay, how do we get out of this spaceship? Well, here's the kicker part. After Sean Knight did all that shooting and blasting, the ship starts reaching out to him, right? And when the ship reaches out to him, they start to look like this. So you see his face, how he has the lines, and this, and you already saw the photo or the art that I showed you of the stalkers. So they start turning into that, right? So I'm like, oh snap, the ship is transforming those three, right? And then boom, you cut back to Venom and Vengeance, right? So now you got one of the stalkers dead. The cool part about the stalkers, without giving too much away, is that when they die, they can absorb each other. So he absorbed them, right? All three of them. And then as it went down the line, it got to the point where one of them absorbed all of them, had all their abilities. So now they're fighting with Venom, or Venom Adventures is fighting the most powerful of the stalkers, who has all the powers of all the other stalkers. I thought that was cool. Now, it does get to a point where Venom is looking for an airplane to get out of there or something like that, which was just completely, I felt like they didn't need it, but it sets it up for the boss battle to where, yeah, I didn't like the way it ended. I think it could have had a better ending when it came to the boss fight, but I mean, what can you do? I enjoyed it up until that point, you know, and I was just like, all right, I could rock with it. But yeah, just at the ending, I was just a little off a little bit, you know. But long story short, to celebrate, the two jump back on the vehicle, and then that's one of the arts that I like the most that I was telling you guys about. Like, they got on his bike and it was just like Ghost Rider. And I should show you guys right now, actually. There it goes. See? But yeah, down in the comments, let me know what you thought about this series. Is it a good series to get into? Did you enjoy part 3? What did you think about this issue in particular? Is there any other comics you recommend that I should read? Also, since you made it this far, your vibe attracts your tribe, right? Make sure you hit that sub button. It's free. Become family. Hit that like button. Let YouTube know you like this type of material. Down in the comments, come talk to me. Let me know what's going down. What would you like for me to review? Also, make sure you hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future uploads. I would hate for you to miss what's coming, y'all. Also, share this video to any and all social media platforms, specifically to anyone that you think would enjoy this type of content. With that being said, y'all, thanks for joining me today. Peace, love, and blessings.